Hey everyone, welcome back. Day 3 is in the books. We'll have a look at all the highlights. Also, at the end of the video, there was some interesting tweets from Maruyama's father, so I'll translate those for you guys and put them at the end of the video. But first off, we'll talk about Hashimoto. He ended up coming up against Shavdar in his second fight, Shavdar first fight of the day, and he just came out really aggressive. It didn't seem like vintage Hashimoto at all. He wanted to win every gripping exchange, he wanted to be first to the punch, and you saw the wazari at the start of the video, but this is after that. Even after scoring a wazari, he's not playing the hand game, playing the shido game, still trying to throw Shavdar, and I personally think this is probably the most appealing way to watch a match when someone's up a wazari and they still go for it. I'm not sure if the rule set can somehow make judoka fight in this way, but I was just really impressed. From this performance on from Hashimoto, I thought he looked good. I started to think, you know, he's on form, he might end up winning the whole thing. But unfortunately, he came up against Stump, and if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know I speak very highly of Stump. He's had some really good wins recently. Took out Oyoshi Ken not too long ago, and now taking out Hashimoto as well. Unfortunately, Stump never fought Ono Shohei, so I'd really like to know how that contest would go, especially these days. Because Stump, not only did he beat Hashimoto, he ended up winning the thing, and so he's our new world champion at under 70. Although the final had an unfortunate end to it, Lombardo goes in for a seoinage here. I personally liked it for a score, but they do him dirty. They give him a shido, hansokumake for head diving, which is unfortunate. I actually thought because of day 1 and day 2 there wasn't many shidos given out for head diving. I thought they may have laxed the rule a little bit, but this was bad. I didn't like this one. And then today, Molai, he went out early for head diving and his head was barely touching the mat. Also, I almost forgot, Heidarov, he went out too for head diving, turning out of the kataguruma from Lombardo. But I really don't like this. This is Heidarov's choice. This is his way of getting out of a kataguruma. And we saw yesterday, Yago, he got out of this kataguruma. It's exactly the same thing. The only thing different is, one, your head's touching the mat, the other, your head's in the air. I really think they need to kind of look at it subjectively, or maybe they could put pressure pads on people's heads, and if the force goes over a certain amount, that's hansokumake. How about they do that? Anyway, Heidarov, he ended up meeting Hashimoto for the bronze medal contest. Hashimoto throwing him twice. So one of the bronze medals goes to Hashimoto, and the other one went to Yoldoshev from Uzbekistan. It was kind of disappointing in the pool matches, the two Uzbekistan guys, Nomanov and Yodoshev, they met up against each other. I would have liked to see them kind of in different pools. I'm not kind of sure if that's something they could do in the rules for the draw, but it would be nice to see. Before we carry on, if you've been watching my videos of the last few days and you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, throw me a like if you want, and if you really want to help the channel, hit that join button. It's just a few dollars a month. I'm trying to build out a members community, that way I don't have to worry about copyright, can just rely on you guys and continue to do this. Anyway, we'll talk about Deguchi Krista next. She took gold in her category. Yo! She took out Funakubo from Japan, so that's really nice. And she also brought out the Ochigari. I haven't seen her use Ochigari that much, but it seems to be another weapon she's got in the bag. Klimkite, who is also from Canada, very, very interesting now, the Olympic discussion between Deguchi and Klimkite. So Klimkite, she took one of the bronze medals. She ended up losing to the Mongolian who took the other bronze medal. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce her name. If you know, let me know in the comments. I think Mongolian's got quite a few silent letters. So if you know, let me know in the comments. She ended up winning her medal by Shido against Mimi from Korea. Mimi's looking really good. She's very good at throwing people at under 57. Still kind of green to the international stage. Give her some time and I think she'll be on the podium as well at some point. So those are the results, guys. We'll have a look at some Ippons before we talk about a few kind of weird shidos that I saw throughout the day, specifically with Hashimoto. I didn't want to talk about the rules at the beginning of this video. Save all the negativity for the end. Especially what I want to talk about, Maruyama's dad on Twitter. A little bit negative, so stay tuned for that as well. Sneaky Ochigari here by Yonezuka. I guess White thought it was in the Newaza, but no. Some highlights from Stump's day. Stump has really good ashiwaza, and he's also got really good newaza. So this sequence here, I mean, it's up his alley for sure. Bit of head diving for you. And this one is definitely why they've brought in the rule. These can sometimes go a bit bad. I just think they need to be more specific about what situations it's not okay. Lombardo here, just a really nice uranage. He set that up perfectly. I feel like when I'm watching Lombardo, I can kind of see him thinking out things. He's very aware of where people's grips are and what techniques are good for him to initiate with. A couple more highlights from Hashimoto here. This is something he always does at the edge of the mat. Pushes people out. They push him back, trying to get back into the tatami, and then he drops down for that Seoi Otoshi. Alright, here's one of the weird shidos for kicking. I don't like it. I think that little foot sweep, it's good to stop people in their tracks, kind of overload the brain a little bit. It's not just kicking your opponent's leg, it's actually doing something. And then here, Nomanov, Hashimoto's opponent, he also gets a shido. Didn't really need to give away this penalty. Gets a shido for an untidy gi. I guess he took too long. I know you're not allowed to kind of take your belt off. He did take his belt off before this to redo his gi, but it just breaks the action, breaks the flow. I don't like things interrupting the true ability of the competitors and them competing against each other. So in my opinion, the less shidos, the better. Sendocho, he went out early. I probably should have mentioned this earlier in the video. But Driss from Algeria just put a pace on Sendocho. Sendocho didn't know what to do with him. Looked really dejected after this. And this was definitely an early exit. He wouldn't have liked this at all, especially being world champion in the previous year. Must be heartbreaking. Also, shout out to my fellow Kiwi for getting a win. Really nice bit of newaza here. Kuona Christie, is that how you say it? Kuona. And look at that, it's all Jason Costa in the coaching box in the back there too. Anyway, I'll just talk a little bit about Maruyama's dad on Twitter. Anyway, so after Maruyama's loss, Maruyama's dad on Twitter decided to criticize his strategies. Maruyama had an interview where, you know, he said he was gonna be a little bit more crafty with his judo, and I definitely saw that throughout the day. He was looking for all sotogari, he had really nice tomoinage, some variations of that, trying all sorts of different techniques. I really like the way Maruyama's judo has evolved recently. But his father didn't. He was like, first you're trying katagurumas against Abe, and now you're going to be crafty. How are you going to win like that? You know, you're making the same mistake over and over again. And then I guess people started responding, and he decided to make another tweet kind of saying, you know, I'm the father and there's no need for comforting words here. You're not going to get to the top of the world without having comfort. He also talked about how he's lost every time since winning the World Championships in 2019, kind of saying it's like a bad habit, I guess, that he's tasted what it's like to be #1 in the world. He's not kind of chasing that dream anymore. But anyway, Takato, he came out and said, you know, some nice things about Maruyama, you know, that he's like so great. And then Uchishiba, he also came out of the works, and he had to say, you know, he had some really good things to say actually. He said, it's not about, you know, the winning ratios between two competitors. You know, there are things like more important than that. You know, you have to kind of respect the people that go out on the tatami, and those who win and those who lose. You even need to, you know, show respect and congratulate those who even lose. Just because they lost doesn't mean they're terrible judoka. There are much more things more important than that. So Uchishiba, he had good things to say, and I definitely agree with him. Maruyama, he shows us incredible judo all the time. Anyway guys, that's it from me. I'll see you in another one. Peace.